The village chief stubbornly ignored the monk's warnings and insisted on excavating the Buddha statue that had been buried for 1,000 years. When the ancient talisman was torn from the Buddha's head, a catastrophic disaster was about to descend upon this peaceful village. The next morning, the Buddha statue enshrined in a nearby temple began weeping tears of blood. The monk who witnessed this felt his heart sink, knowing that a weeping Buddha was an ominous sign. At the same moment, the once clear sky suddenly darkened with heavy clouds, and then black rain, dark as ink, began falling from the heavens. Se-Yun, who was transporting the Buddha head, had stopped to rest at a roadside diner. He'd just downed a shot of liquor when his eyes began burning terribly. He rushed to the bathroom, desperately splashing water on his face. That's when the door behind him slowly creaked open. Standing there was his father, who had been dead for years. Facing this familiar yet strange figure, Se-Yun was too terrified to speak. To his horror, his gambling-addicted father began demanding money again. As they struggled, Se-Yun shoved him away hard. But when Se-Yun returned to the dining area, his father mysteriously appeared before him again. Se-Yun collapsed to the floor in terror. The father standing before him was actually the diner owner. As the figure slowly approached, he suddenly opened his mouth impossibly wide. In panic, Se-Yun grabbed a bottle and swung it at him. Fortunately, other customers intervened just in time, preventing serious injury to the owner. Detective Kim Min received the call and immediately headed to the station. But on the way, she encountered a bizarre hailstorm. The hail shattered her windshield, and when she examined the ice at the station, she discovered human faces embedded in the hailstones. Filled with unease, Kim Min went to question Se-Yun. But the moment she approached him, he lunged at her like a madman, pulling so violently that he actually tore his own arm off. Kim Min and her colleagues had to restrain him and get him into an ambulance. Yet the doctors couldn't find anything wrong with him. Remembering those eerie, face-filled hailstones, Kim Min's anxiety grew stronger. After the black rain, villagers discovered their crops were completely destroyed and flooded the village office demanding compensation. Archaeologist Hyun Ju was dragged along by her neighbors to help negotiate because of her education. But the moment she stepped into the village office, she spotted a familiar Buddha statue, the same one her husband had photographed and asked her to decipher the talismans on. Hyun Ju instantly felt the statue taking control of her. This was the terrifying power of the Buddha. You knew you shouldn't look into its eyes, but how else could you verify if the legends were true? Then she saw the driver who had killed her daughter in the accident. This was clearly her inner demon. Fortunately, she had strong self-control and quickly switched off the lights in the statue exhibition room. The darkened glass temporarily blocked her view, but it was obviously too late. When Hyunju entered the meeting room, the village chief was making grand promises to the villagers, saying the destroyed crops didn't matter. They'd make plenty of money from Buddha statue tourism. But before he could finish, a villager suddenly raised his sickle. His eyes rolled back to white and charged straight at him. The name of this movie is Monstrous.